Financial Review, Biden puts climate heat on Morrison. Scott Morrison is heading toward escalating the government's carbon ambitions by the end of the year, as the Biden administration warned on the eve of its global climate summit that cooperation with the White House could be hurt if Australia's position did not shift, as some of the world's biggest economic powers ramped up their promises to take action. The summit of 40 world leaders hosted by President Joe Biden, Canberra, was put on notice that a current position remains insufficient. Now, Phil Corey, who I rate as one of the best in the business, said in his opinion piece, Tanveer, there is disdain inside the Morrison government at suddenly being lectured by the US, given the past 4 years and the fact it lags Australia on key climate indicators. But
a lot of this,
it is a big issue.
Well, it'll certainly be a big issue, and maybe the dynamics will change with a new government, but there is a lot of bluster, and we've seen over the last sort of decade on this. You get so much bluster, and I think the Prime Minister's right. Arguably, Australia is one of the few countries that actually meets its targets. Like, we're continuously kind of painted as this laggard, but meanwhile, we often quietly meet our targets. You know, we're using gas, and now we're heading into a lot of these other more technological solutions. So, look, yeah, I think we'll see a lot of stories around it, but my impression is there'll be a lot of bluster, and I doubt very much. I think a lot of reporters locally love to sort of talk about international disapproval, whether it's refugees or climate. Meanwhile, it rarely actually takes any concrete forms. I think it's often a bit of show, but I think behind the scenes, I think you'll find relations will remain very strong.
Indeed, indeed. The Herald Sun splash, 1.5 metre rule mess, anger and confusion over office distancing. Confusion reigns over whether businesses must keep staff 1.5 metres apart, with the state government contradicting its website's advice on Thursday. Businesses which have stalled on bringing employees back amid fears of breaching distancing requirements are furious. They have unnecessarily compromised their potential productivity. Look, nothing surprises me when it comes to the Victorian government and the way it rolls out its messaging around COVID. We saw that it was the worst performing state in the country when it came to protecting its citizens, and now it's sending out mixed messages to employers.
Yeah, interesting exclusive, isn't it, Pete? I saw that, but I'm trying to see it in the bigger picture. I mean, basically we're going through a phase where offices and workplaces, you know, really there's a bit more of a push. They're like, look, we're trying to get the right balance. You know, we would need at least workers coming in some of the period. So employers need certainty, and I've had a few questions about things like workers' compensation cases. You know, what if the bullying? How's bullying going to work out when everyone's at home? This kind of stuff. So there's so much uncertainty, and I think government really needs to clarify. And this is a real, just like absolute bare guts of it. You know, what's the sort of safe distancing, etc. So. Another gong, bit of a muck-up for the Victorian government on the back of the recent Belt and Road slap down, if you like. So hopefully they sort that out quick.